Hi, it's Dawn here again, and welcome to my second workshop, my second workroom. This is a purpose-built log cabin that we had built in 2014, and it was built as a workroom for me. So you have to excuse it is a bit dark because I've got the curtains up at the windows to try and keep some of the heat in. But let me start you down this end. Right, down here I have got, this is my favourite embroidery machine. So I've got this nice big embroidery machine, and it's got a nice workspace all the way around it, thread stands, all my hoops are there. This is not the tidiest of rooms because I'm always down here doing bits and pieces, but all the bits I need are within reach. And then I've got all the embroidery threads up there. And I've got all my needles and bits and pieces that I use regularly, variegated threads, scrap pieces of felt, all organised in baskets, more threads up there, cones of wool, and as you can see I've run out of wall space, so I'm now decorating the roof. Cones of wool because this unit here has got my knitting machine in. My knitting machine I've had for 30 odd years and it's in that cabinet. And of course when I want to use it I do have to clear off the top. So what else have I got here? I've got my silhouette cutting machine and my scan and cut. Out of the two I prefer my silhouette. And then of course I've got drawers underneath with bits and pieces that belong to these and fabric glues and all sorts of things like that. There's another big commercial embroidery machine here. This is my 6 needle and there's all the hoops hanging up for that. And the threads that I use are all up there on that little shelf. But I do also use them on this big machine. Here I've also got, this is a cutting table and this comes up and it's the same the other side, so I can pull the whole, it's on wheels, and I can pull the whole thing out, open up the leaves and have a big cutting area. My latest acquisition is my industrial machine, which I absolutely love. I had a friend down last weekend, so I was having a bit of a play with it, hence everything is out. There's all the threads for it and feet for it and etc. But I'm really loving that. This bit of apparatus here is a linker, Hague linker, and it's used for joining together knitting when I do my knitting on the knit machine. And that unit there goes all the way underneath, and it's a bookcase and it's all my machine knitting stuff. At the back there, all them little drawers are various craft things, from buttons to magnetic closures, sewing bobbins, clamps, velcro, all sorts of things in there. And more bits of fabric. There's a lot there. Most of that there is scrap fabric, but I have got a new unit coming which I'm hoping will be here over the weekend, and I can get all of this condensed down into the new unit to tidy all that up. These boxes here are denim. I do a lot of embroidery onto denim garments, and more vinyl and leather offcuts at the bottom. This is more fabrics here. This is more specialist fabrics, minkies, suiting fabric, fleece, all types of thing. More fleece at the top. There's lots of felt there at the top. More bits and pieces all hanging around up there. Fat quarters. This is my resin stand, so it's all stuff to do with resin work on that. And every now and then I like to do a bit of resin. These are all various craft things again, anything from embroidery, sewing, card making, all sorts of things, tatting. That's more card making stuff there. This is my little loom, and if I'm down here and I've got my knitting machine working away. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. No, I can't, the clamp's on the bottom. I got my knitting machine working away. I can be sitting working away here on my little loom, and I just use all oddments of yarn and everything to make up long strips of weaving cloths, which one day I'll turn into something. That's one of my bookshelves, bookcases even, and there's another one there, and this is all craft, all to do with craft. And at the bottom there's boxes of other craft supplies. Yes, there's lots of those other little bits and projects kicking around. Up here, this originally, you see, this would have been 2 cabins, and that's where the join would have been. So it was a small cabin and a bigger cabin, and we put them together. So the join bit, and of course I've got shelves each side of it. So this is all specialist paint things, and there's a picture which was done for me by my mate Mandy, who passed away 5 years ago. 5 years ago, April the 1st. And Maggie, my mate Maggie, sorry, not Mandy, my mate Maggie, and Maggie lived in Hull, and she had an assistance dog called Paige, who is now retired and living with us. So yes, that's all sort of specialist paints and equipment up there. Filing cabinet where I keep lots of information. And again, other boxes of things and CDs, and there's another workspace there. There's another one of these caddies like I showed you in my previous craft video that I use down here for taking things up to the house. This is my messy craft area. I've got an ironing board set up there, and I've got a little baby ironing board, which was a Temu purchase for doing very small things. At the moment I've got, this is a big box of stabilisers sitting here, and I've got workshop stuff out. Because I run embroidery workshops, I have 4 of these machines. They're all under their workstations, and also under there is 4 normal sewing machines, and so they've all got their own accoutrements. Yeah, so these are their workstations, and so when I'm running a class in here, of course all the tables are cleared down. Also in here I have got this machine, which is a Chinese leather shoe patcher that I've been having a bit of a play with. These are all getting ready for up and coming workshops. I've got my heat press. I've got an urn which is used when we have a workshop on, so everybody can get a cup of tea, cup of coffee or whatever. More bits of storage there, and there's more storage under there. More storage over here. This is a lot of craft supplies and papers and card and such like. And of course I've got my laptop station here and my printing stations. Yes, I do have lots of different printers. This one is a normal everyday colour printer and scanner. This one is sublimation printer, and this one is my black laser printer, or Mono laser printer. Again, another nice big chair. Got another big chair over there. This one used to belong to my dad. It was his computer chair, and the one over on my embroidery machine used to belong to my stepdad. Same design, but it used to belong to my stepdad. This one here I picked up for free on our local marketplace. And yeah, so there's just lots of bits of craft bits and pieces all stored in here. It isn't generally this untidy, but when you're moving things around, it does become untidy. So this is my main workshop. I work in here, and this is where I run sewing classes and embroidery, machine embroidery classes from. and I will come in here and play with paints and stamps. All them drawers under there are full of stamps and heat guns and so forth. And I still have a lot of the equipment from when I used to run workshops before, so I've got lots of die cutting machines, glue guns, boxes of glue guns down there. Yeah, so I got lots of stuff like that. Right, so that is the tour of this room. So can you see my big wooden scissors there? Aren't they lovely? Big wooden scissors. I picked them up at a craft event that I went to, and I wanted them. I keep saying about painting them and having them up on display, because I've got them big big ornamental metal buttons up on the wall, and I've got another big wooden button sitting down the end there waiting to go up as well. Yeah, so this is totally my space. I don't share this space with Martin, and he knows if I'm in here working not to come in and disturb me. So it is just one of the things I like. If I'm in here working, you know, do not disturb. So I will be doing a lot more videos on some of the craft work I do, some of the things I make, and the things I do to sell, and the things I teach. So they'll all be up and coming on future videos on my channel. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll catch you up on the next video.